Because to me, the tour is like a participatory review and reflection process. And it is taking the bull by the horns, the minister trying to offer himself with issues on the ground.
He has earlier visited Kayaf and Kuinala in Lower River Region before continuing in West Coast Region 2. His tour continues. Babukar Kamara, GRTS.
Well, the report there by Babukar Kamara takes us to our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the international news. Stay tuned then.
The NOEC Staff Association, under the Chief Guest of Honor, His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yaya AJJ Jammeh, is staging its third annual gala dinner and dance in association with the international superstar Asanjai of Senegal, Joliba Kouyaté and Abu and Fafa. This program is in support of His Excellency's drive to turn the Gambia into a city-state by providing all basic and essential services such as electricity and water to the Gambian population irrespective of where they live. The gala dinner is slated for the 25th of January 2013 at the Senegambia Beach Hotel. Tables are as follows: Platinum $60,000, Diamond $50,000, Gold $40,000, and Silver $35,000. Each table comes with 10 gala dinner tickets and cash power raffle tickets. Individual tickets $1,500. January 25th, that is the dance at the Paradise Suites Hotel, Penchami Hall. The tickets are as follows: VIP $600, Ordinary $400. Chief Guest of Honor for the night: Modu Turo Dabo, Aja Chan Khan, and Fatu Toure. And at Brikama Joko, which is January 27th, the tickets are $200 flat. Chief Guest of Honor: Lamin Sane, Governor of West Coast Region, Aja Fatu Sow, Farato Alcalo, and Amidou Ja Oil. For reservations, please call 366-4096, 997-3500, 384-6607, 980-2992.
Welcome back to GRTS News. French forces have intensified air raids against militant targets in Mali. Sources in Paris indicate plans of a possible increase in the number of French troops to a total of 2,500 troops. Overnight, French air sorties targeted the hotly contested town of Jabali, which fell into the hands of insurgents during heavy clashes with Malian government troops. CNN tells us how the country got to this stage.
In March last year, a group of Malian army officers appeared on state TV. Frustrated with what they termed their government's inadequate support in their fight against Tuareg rebels, they staged a coup. It was meant to be a short-term solution.
We wish to restore the power of a democratically elected government as soon as national unity and integrity are re-established.
Instead, it sets off a chain of events that has now led Mali's interim president to seek international military intervention. The Malian state has been fighting Tuareg separatists in the north for decades. But the Tuareg were re-energized when hundreds of fighters who'd been in Muammar Gaddafi's army returned home from Libya with their weapons.
We have very sophisticated weapons from the Libyan army that were smuggled into the Malian desert by groups. And they have now taken a foothold and don't want to let go. And it is so, those weapons are so sophisticated that the Malian army really doesn't stand a chance to be able to fight against them.
But it wasn't just the Tuareg who saw an opportunity. The Al-Qaeda-linked militant group Ansar ad-Din quickly partnered itself with the Tuareg and established harsh Islamic rule in parts of northern Mali. They also destroyed ancient Sufi shrines, deemed heretic. But as they grew more extreme in their implementation of Sharia law, they fell out with the Tuaregs, who eventually left the radicals to run cities like Timbuktu and Gao. Already the fighting has displaced hundreds of thousands of desperately poor Malians, and aid groups say thousands more are already on the move. The battle for Mali may have begun, but it's far from being won. Nemal Baghir, CNN, Nairobi.
Well, public protests are extremely rare in Saudi Arabia until recently, when thousands stormed the streets to protest against the trial of Mohammed al-Khatami, a human rights activist. As Mohammed Jamjoon reports, the deeply conservative country is becoming greatly divided.
These men are demonstrating to win the release of their relatives. In deeply conservative Saudi Arabia, where such gatherings are prohibited, activists say these types of small protests are becoming more frequent.
We are trying to push the limit so our kids will live in a world where their fundamental rights will be respected.
Mohammed al-Qahtani is one of Saudi Arabia's most prominent human rights activists. Since 2009, he's petitioned for the release of political prisoners and advocated for reform in the absolute monarchy. His organization even crossed one of the country's ultimate red lines by being openly critical of its interior ministry, which is why rights groups weren't surprised when al-Qahtani and his colleague Abdullah al-Hamid were taken to court. Al-Qahtani was accused of, among other things, setting up and running an unlicensed organization and turning international organizations against the kingdom. Al-Hamid faces similar charges. If convicted, both men could spend years in prison.
This has been a systematic approach by the authorities in Saudi Arabia, namely the targeting and harassing activists across the country.
Al-Qahtani says he knows why he, Al-Hamid, and other activists were really put on trial.
Because we have been documenting human rights abuses carried out by the Saudi General Investigation Department. We have numbers of cases where people are thrown in prison arbitrarily, torture, forced disappearances.
Despite repeated efforts, we were unable to reach the Saudi government for comment. In this amateur video, anger overtakes tradition, purporting to show how even Saudi women have recently been taken to the segregated streets. Despite his prosecution, Al-Qahtani presses on, helping them file cases against the government to free their loved ones. And while the father of five says he fully expects to be found guilty in his own trial, he has no problem going to jail for what he believes in.
Maybe I'm dreaming. Just last night I was telling my wife for my newborn daughter that maybe one day she will vote for the Prime Minister in Saudi Arabia. So we are really hopeful about the future.
Mohammed Jamjoon, CNN, Beirut.
Well, time now to take another break. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports. Stay tuned then.
Naturel yii ci jonge épice say marinade dina neex ba yokk sa appétit ak jonge épice jongeel ba sës jongeel ba faw ni jongeel ba ca biir cin.
Start your day with Armonti, pure margarine with the best ingredients. Also ideal for frying and baking. Every day, an Armonti day.
Ak épice naturel yii ci jonge super doré. Say gruyère ak say ceeb day gën a doré te di nga am cëfka bu amul fenn. Jongeel ba sës, jongeel ba faw, ni jongeel ba ca biir cin.
Lucozade Energy, energizing Gambia.
Welcome back, and time now to join Fatou Jasseh for a look at the sports news. Fatou.
Thank you very much, Fatou. In basketball, the Chicago Bulls could be the title contenders in the NBA after beating the Atlanta Hawks at home. For more on these and other stories, we join CNN's Pedro Pinto.
58 points as they beat the Atlanta Hawks at home. Offensively, Carlos Boozer, who had 20 points, and also Luol Deng, who had 18, were the main weapons. But this story was really about the defense that the Bulls played and how badly and how poorly the Atlanta Hawks shot. 29% in this game. That was the field goal percentage for the Hawks. They also only hit 2 of 14 three-pointers. Numbers that really tell a story